I've always seen Natalie as my equal, you know, and I've always been very mindful of power dynamics and relationships, and she was always someone whose opinion I respected. She is someone whose opinion I sought, you know, and I didn't see someone who was younger than me who I needed to coach up. You know, it was someone who I felt like added as much value to my life as I added to hers. And we also acknowledged the age gap because it does exist and it does play a role, and every once in a while we feel it.
You're in a relationship now?
I am, yeah.
How long has that been going?
2+ years.
2+?
Yeah.
You gonna get married, family, kids? What's your...
I definitely, that's my only goal I've ever had that I haven't yet accomplished is to be a father, so I hope to have that someday. Yeah.
Sweet. Thank God I have my wife, Natasha. She's incredible. We started dating 11 years ago. We've been together 11 years, married 9. But when I first started, I carried this burden that she was 16 years younger than me. I think I knew why, some of it because of like what someone might think. But what I experienced, I talked to my father, and when I was telling him about it, I think I am going to marry this woman. And I was hesitant as I was telling her, and he was like, well, what's going on? I was like, well, she's 16 years younger than me almost. He said, okay. Does she exemplify the things that you think would demonstrate being a wife? Yes. Do you show up for her in this way? Yes. Does she believe in the things that all the questions? Yes. Okay. So tell me right now where age has anything to do with that. Mm-hmm. She's a grown woman. Yeah. What's the difference that, you know, she was 26 at the time, I was 40, whatever the difference was, 41. Anyways, it was an interesting conversation that allowed me to let go of anything that I was holding on to or carrying about, like what society says or what someone would think or all that. And rather than standing small in it, I could stand tall and be proud of this relationship that I'm in and everything. And thank God, because like I said, we've been together 11 years, 9 years. We've got 2 kids. She's the best stepmom in the world. I just had a grandchild, and she was there with my daughter as the doula. This is something that I think we have a shared experience.
Yeah. When I met Natalie, I was very self-conscious. She DM'd me. She pursued me, you know, and which I found very attractive at the time.
Because she was confident in that way.
Yeah. She asserted herself, and I've always been attracted to big personalities and women who stand in their power. I just find it really hot and attractive. I like confidence in general. But when I found out her age, I was quick to tell her we're never going to date. The more I got to know her, the more I just remember thinking, why are you so like, you know, like, you know, one of the, and I'd been single for a long time and met and dated a lot of women my age, women older than me, women younger than me, you know, great women, just
wasn't the right one.
Just wasn't the right one. I found myself feeling loved and wanting to love, and those were feelings I hadn't felt in a while, and so I struggled for a long time. And so for the first 9 months of us dating, I was
hiding it.
Well, I was refusing to date her. I was refusing to be with her, and it took her, you know, walking away, that type of thing, and she did the thing that so many people don't do, which is she didn't ask me what I wanted, and she didn't ask me what this was or anything like that. Because when you do that, you immediately give away your power. Right. You know, you're asking. People don't say, "What are we?" When they don't know what they want. People say, "What are we?" when they know what they want, and they're hoping the other person affirms what they want. And instead of just telling them, they ask them because it's scary to get rejected. So they want to ask that person and not put themselves out there. But again, you lose that power. And she just sat me down, and she's like, we should date. And here's why. She did not bend on the boundaries she set, which most people do, which is, you know, I want this. You can't have me if you don't want to give me this. And I say no, and they're like, just kidding, we can keep hanging out. And finally she was like, nah. Or like, I'm no longer gonna do this. And I quickly came around. And at that point I was just like, you know what, screw it. Like I've been single long enough, like we can always not work out. But I was very self-conscious about what people would say, and here I am, this guy who gives relationship advice to a lot of women. And obviously there's a lot of opinions about age gaps and things like that, and judgments, and I knew I'd have to face those, but
did you apologize when you first were dating? I don't mean apologize with the words "I'm sorry," But in the relationship, did you kind of apologize for it externally, outwardly, like
No.
not champion?
No, I found myself having a lot of conversations with critics in my head. Type of thing. There's that book, He's Just Not That Into You, and the premise of that general book is you're not the exception to the rule, you're the rule. And I don't necessarily love that. I think I talk about that a lot, and people will also say a lot of what I talk about kind of reminds them of that book. But as someone who I'm mindful of my ego, but I have one, and I love being the exception to the rule, and I love taking big swings in life, and I've swung and missed a bunch of times, but I like going big. But I want to acknowledge to myself when I'm taking big swings. And so it was just important to us to acknowledge that, there is an age gap. It's going to come up. We don't need to run from it. We just need to prepare to address it when we do feel it and not, critique our relationship. And outside opinions don't really matter all that much as I am self-conscious. And it was one of those things where, I actually literally talked to my therapist about it before we, And she was right. She was like, listen, it's either going to not work out and you'll break up and it won't be a big deal, or it will work out and people won't care. They'll just see the love that you have between the two of you, and that's ultimately what matters. And outside people who don't know me or don't know her and just, see two numbers, they'll have their opinions, and it is what it is. But, they don't know us, and they're just kind of projecting whatever that's going on in their life. Because the truth is there are a lot of unhealthy relationships out there as a result of a difference in age gap. There are predatorial men out there who go after young women for the purposes of manipulating and taking advantage of a power dynamic and things like that. And so I think every person has to be honest with themselves of why they're in this relationship, and is the fact that there's an age gap, is it deliberate, or is it just something that happened that you would otherwise not have, but everything else it has a lot of value to it.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, and acknowledging all of the dynamics and being honest. I think that's so great. And I was in a relationship, but there was an age gap, and it was the best relationship I'd ever been in. And I had hang-ups around it too. And it happens to me with the reverse, with younger men all the time, because I'm getting old, So, I'll meet guys where I'm like, you're younger. And I'm like, okay. And then do what you do, where I'm like, I'm never going to date you. It's impossible. But then, you can build connection.
You never really know.
You don't know. Yeah.
It's okay to question things, and I'm okay with people questioning my relationship because I know what the relationship's about. And, so I don't have a problem with people questioning it or critiquing it or things like that.
Me and my wife had to have one conversation one time where I had to, and that's where I asked about apologizing, where I forget how she framed it exactly, but she wanted to know, was I embarrassed because she was younger? Not in terms of our interaction, but embarrassed and outward. And I was like, no, but I'm mindful of how. And she had said something to the effect of, it makes me feel this.
Yeah.
And I was like, you'll never feel that again. Other than certain idioms she may not. Wait, you never saw Happy Days? Or you don't know that? So, there's some things that
we actually have fun with that,
Yeah,
Those
that's
little
fine.
moments
That's
of
fine.
but
that's all fine. But,
and I
that
think,
was something I needed to know.
Yeah, and there was definitely moments, I think, early in our relationship where I said something or did something that came across more condescending and belittling and made her feel young and things like that. And, again, similar to, that bothers me that you say that. And I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sorry. I didn't mean it like that, but I recognize how it came across, and, you just have to create that space.
I think that's why I return to that, no end game, right? Meet people as they are. And if you're enjoying that moment, enjoy that moment as long as you got it. Because one of those younger men, Liz, might be the one, no end game, right? If you close the door too soon, you never know, right?
Yeah.
Meet people, and if you're enjoying that night, enjoy that night. You might enjoy the morning, you might enjoy the afternoon, but you might not enjoy the next day, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, obviously, everything has to be appropriately right, but yes. I haven't talked with my wife. That I'm like, we're all good, everything's fine. You do know, in 20 years, one day, we're going to be sleeping. She's going to open her eyes. She's going to be like, She's gonna look and be like, "Shit, he got old."
She, if nothing else, now that it keeps me motivated to
You're right,
invest in
stay
myself
safe.
for sure. Yeah, 100%.
Skincare.
My skincare routine is
SPF.
on point.